Emotions are as human as cheese is Dutch, so you will have to deal with emotions, whether they're your own or someone else's. Everybody knows this feeling of shock and guilt when somebody ignores you. This happened to me about 10 years ago when I met a friend on opposite sides of an escalator in my graduate school. She was pissed off. She went down this escalator completely ignoring me, and I couldn't help but think, what did I do to her to hurt her so badly? She had just heard that she wasn't going to be able to finish her degree. And I realized hearing that I had misinterpreted what she was looking like. I thought that it applied to me, but it actually applied to her. So, being a sensitive bastard, I mistakenly had projected my insecurities upon her. And that made me realize that the person that I was thinking most of was actually myself, which was in this case probably not the right thing to do. Now in reality, we think about ourselves most of the time, and Dale Carnegie, many people will know him, built an empire of self-improvement on this principle with his book, How to Make Friends and Influence People. So thinking about this really got me thinking about what other people look like and what they actually meant with those facial expressions. So at that point, I found a book by Maarten Bout, whose book Blink describes the theories and points to the books of noted psychologist Paul Ekman, who has done extensive research on facial expressions across the world. And he found out that facial expressions across the world are universal. People in all cultures express the 6 core emotions: anger, joy, disgust, contempt, sadness, and surprise in the exact same way by using the same muscle functions. So I wanted to take some time to review those facial expressions that you know what I'm talking about. On the left here we have disgust, which is very similar to anger on the right-hand side, but has some very noted differences, such as flared nostrils and puckered mouth in disgust. One thing that people sometimes mistake is the differences between surprise and sadness, where the only thing they actually have in common is raised eyebrows. But the thing that's most mistaken is the smile that comes to people's faces when they're either contemptuous or actually joyous. On the right-hand side, you'll see a contemptuous smile. On the left-hand side, you'll see an actual smile. And you see that with contempt, only 1/2 of the face is actually activated. Now, it's all great information to know what people look like when they are experiencing emotions. But in reality, emotions come in value packs of 2 or 3 at the same time, for the price of 1. And so the emotion that you see may not be the one emotion that you recognize. So what I did when I was looking at my friend, I mistook the source of her emotions. She was sad, angry, and frustrated at the same time. And Ekman wrote about this in all of his books, that you may recognize the emotion, but you can't know the source. So most people fall within this spectrum over here. You're either aware or unaware of the emotions that you're showing or hiding. Culture may dictate whether you may show emotion or whether you want to show emotion. You may also be completely aware of the fact that you have emotions, or you may be repressing them. It is handy though to know what the person you're talking to is feeling. And it can be as simple as benefiting in a negotiation or being able to diffuse and divert conflict. Highly skilled leaders often display very good people skills. They know how people feel. They know when people are placed right, when they're unhappy because their job is not functioning. And they, in that sense, are not running a company really. They are actually managing an ecosystem of personalities and individuals with emotions for a climate. So they take a measurement and then they start applying their decisions based upon those measurements. So taking this all into account, the information that you get from people's facial expressions can help you make decisions. That, in turn, can inspire confidence to make decisions, and that will eventually develop the potential of yourself, of the people that you're making decisions for, and of the company that you work for. This brings me to my final point. My favorite quote in the world is by Barb Bicklemeyer, the Associate Dean for Faculty at Indiana University. She once said in a conversation that no one gets out of bed in the morning wanting to mess up. And I want to inspire all of you to take that to heart with emotions as well. because nobody wants to get out of bed in the morning, wanting to have a bad day or giving you a hard time. So let's stop being insensitive bastards today. And next time I want to talk about how to use your face to lie yourself out of any situation. Thank you so much.